Hey guys, Sean Bucci here. I'm just trying to start this up a little bit early so I can get somebody to tell me that they can see and hear us okay. There's usually about a 3-minute delay on me seeing your comments. Right now, comments are allowed. Please don't ask any questions just yet. I've got a lot to cover. But if somebody could let me know that they can see and hear me okay, that would be great. Let's go there. We can hear Alan. Fantastic. Thank you, Alan, for letting me know. Now, guys, good morning. Everything is good here. Fantastic, Creed. All right, guys, yes, we can. Thank you, Tim. I'm gonna, for now, turn off. Thank you, Vernetta. Thank you for letting me know. Hey, Lay, sorry. I'm gonna, for now, turn off chat. I'm going to turn chat back on. You'll have the ability to ask me questions after I cover some things today, guys. And by the way, I appreciate the sign up rate. I know it was absolutely last minute. The reason I did that is we only had a few slots left. What I'm trying to move toward is a little more of a community interaction here. So with that in mind, I'm trying to tell people on our group, on our Facebook page, on our YouTube page, folks that have subscribed to our YouTube page, which is MR Deed Flip, Mr. Deed Flip, MRDEED Flip. That's our channel for YouTube where we launch a lot of new video and content all the time. The other one is our Facebook page. You can go to SurplusFundsRiches in that oops email I sent out at first. I'm sorry about that this morning. For those of y'all that got that. In that email was a direct link to our products page, and you can go there. You can also download the Insider's Guide. And on the right side of the page, though, on Surplus Funds Riches, if you go to the main page, SurplusFundsRiches.com, if you go to the right side, you can sign in there, but you'll also see where there's a link to our Facebook page, and you're going to want to like and follow our Facebook page. Again, that's why the last minute email today, I just had a few slots left open after the guys that are on our Facebook page. Tilt this down a little bit. They're on our Facebook page and on our YouTube page. They got first shot at coming into the webinar. So you're definitely going to want to go to our YouTube or Facebook page. There's a link to, again, the Facebook page off of SurplusFundsRiches.com. And there's also, if you go to YouTube, I am Mr. Deed Flip, MRDEED and that's our channel. So we welcome you to come there. There is going to be a replay of this. This is streaming live to YouTube right now. So yes, there will be a replay, guys. You should get the link within about 2 hours after this is over. I'm going to go through a lot of items. Again, comments are not enabled right now. They will be. Please save your questions for when I re-enable the comment section, because I have way too much to cover today, and I need to get through that. Talking about a lot of questions I get pre-purchase and a lot of questions Jeff is getting in support. One of the questions we get a lot of is, how are we different? Guys, there are a couple other guys out there, a couple other folks out there talking about overages. The main difference is we actually stumbled upon this ourselves. We were flipping property in Mecklenburg County, North Carolina. And the way we would do it at the time is North Carolina has an upset bid, a 10-day upset bid. So what we were doing is we were flipping property there by buying the deed when it was going to foreclosure. Okay, when it was going to tax sale, actually, in most cases, but sometimes it was mortgage foreclosure. In Mecklenburg County, we research the debt, buy the deed. Sorry, I can't get comfortable in this chair. Buy the deed, and then turn around and go down to where they were having the actual foreclosure, the auction, and flip it. Say, look, there's 80 grand in debt. Everybody here knows it's going to get bid up to $150,000. Give us 30 grand or 40, whatever it was, and we'll give you the deed, and you pay off the debt, and you own it for less than what you're going to end up bidding this thing up for. And it worked like a charm. One of the instances, it didn't work because it was all newbies, and they didn't know that they were getting a good deal. It sold for about $30,000 more than the total debt against it. So we asked the clerk, where the heck does that money go? Where does it go? We thought, like everybody else on the planet, that the creditor was allowed to keep the money. You can't do that, guys. You can't give banks an incentive to foreclose on people or even the tax folks. Anyway, that's what we thought. But the clerk said no, the last owner. And we said, well, let's get definitive here. Let's get specific. Who's the last owner? Whoever had the deed last prior to the sale being final. Okay, well, that was us. Give us our money. No, you've got to file for a motion, use an attorney and all that. So we did. But that's how we found it. And you guys have probably noticed, I'm not derogatory. I don't do derogatory or slanderous or whatever comments about my competition. I just don't. But the main difference is I didn't buy a program for somebody or multiple programs for people and then apply it myself and then figure I was the grand master. We got our butt kicked. We got our butt handed to us over and over again. So the process that we have in place is a result of actually fumbling into it, claiming an overage that we created by having the deed at the last minute and figuring out how to get lists. So that's the major difference, guys, is we're not somebody that is reselling a program that they bought. And most of the people out there, without saying names, that's what they're doing. The other, of course, differences is we're willing to partner with you. And one of the things I'm going to talk about, which is if you have not purchased from us, which program to buy. I'm going to go through that quickly because I know there's a lot of people online right now that have already purchased our program and are looking for different information, applying the program. Okay. But how we started is a major difference. The fact that we're systematized, guys, we have a set process for making this work. The fact, obviously, that we partner up with folks. And not like, I think there's a guy out there that calls it JVing. He'll jump in at the last minute and help people, walk them through it. No, we'll actually lead you through step by step. We always use attorneys. We always tell you need to use an attorney. These guys out there that are saying you don't want to use an attorney are, in my opinion, giving you some poor advice. We handle both mortgage and tax overages. We teach you how to go after both. One of the differences, guys, in mortgage and tax, for the last 20 years, banks have actually been requiring people to escrow the tax payment into their payment. So when you go to a tax overages situation, there's usually not additional debt. There can be a mechanics lien or an equity line. You always have to check it. But there's usually not other debt. With mortgage, there's a higher probability that there's other debt against the property, which would keep you from actually working that overage. However, in a mortgage overage, nobody else is working that. Okay, so that's kind of a big deal. We tell you to always use an attorney, even in areas that don't require it. The court tends to cut the check quicker and it moves along a lot better and you have credibility. We use structured buyouts. So if somebody's owed 50 grand, I'm going to give them 5,000 within 5 days, 5 business days after they sign up with me. And then I'm going to give them another whatever I agree to at that point, another 20,000, 25, whatever I agree to pay them when we successfully get the money out. Now, during COVID-19, I made 2 changes to that. One is because the courts were closed and now they're about to reopen. One major difference was I was also telling them, look, I'm going to go ahead and pay this much up front, this much each month. That'll come out of what I would have paid you at the back end, but I'm going to pay your bills. And that made a big difference with people and our conversion rate. Besides the fact that people were home, they have been home a heck of a lot more. Our conversion rate's gone very high on that. In addition, I'm also paying you guys, anybody that signs up, probably until they start lifting the COVID-19. For the rest of whenever you're with me, I'll give you $500 up front when we actually get the contract back from the owner. This is overages. We also do deed flips, and I'll cover that in a second too. But an overage, I'm also going to give you guys $500 at the point of contract signing. I'm just going to keep doing that. Now, this isn't everybody's grandfathered in as far as new files they turn in, but if you just turn in a file I got under contract prior to me announcing this, I'm sorry. Give me another one. But those are the major differences, guys. In deed flip, which is us going after property that's going into tax foreclosure and trying to buy it and flip it as is, where is. In that situation, in a deed flip situation, what we're doing is we're actually also paying the owner's bills while we're going. Plus, we're giving them another kicker right before they're supposed to get out. We're allowing them to stay in the property longer. And we're giving them another kicker before they're supposed to get out so they have enough money to get the moving van. And that has also upped our conversion rate quite a bit. Okay, which program to buy? I'm going to cover this really quickly because I know, again, I'm looking at the numbers. I know a lot of you guys have already come on board with us. So which program do you get if you haven't bought a program? Most of you guys are here for the overage program, and there's two programs we have. The National Surplus Funds Program that requires that you go get a list. We teach you how to do that. It's not hard to do, and I'm going to cover that more. Okay, you go get a list. You take that list and you research the debt and the ownership of the property at the time of the sale. Okay, debt against the property, ownership of the property, because some of the lists aren't actually, the tax folks aren't actually updated. They're foreclosing on the property, not the person. So they don't really care if they've got the right name there or not. It's another thing you're not hearing online, okay? So from these other guys anyway. So the national surplus pays you 8% of gross when we get paid on the back end, when the court pays us, 8% of the gross amount being held. And you research the debt and ownership of the property, fill out our title worksheet with that information, turn it into us, and we take it from there. The 16% program, our Premier 16 program, requires that you also do that, but also find the people and have a warm conversation to make sure they're willing to talk with us. It's a different skill set. We teach you how to do it. Obviously, we're paying more money because you're doing more work. Some people can't make up their minds, so both those are $497 a piece. They have different submission, different training. They both also tell you how to do it completely on your own without us. Okay. However, we package them together for $597 in the Pro Pack to help folks out that weren't sure which way they wanted to go with that. So we wanted to go ahead and give them that option. The bundles you may want to consider are on there as well. You go to SurplusFundsRiches.com and click on products. I like the best bundle because it includes Florida. Our normal programs, we will take submissions from everywhere except for Oregon, Washington State, and Colorado. And then in Florida, that's a separate program because it's so different. And it's completely researcher based because the way the attorneys work down there, it's going to be hard for you guys to work Florida on your own. But it is really easy to work. The statutes are in our favor. They publish the title work online. We protect Florida by putting a barrier in place, and that barriers, you can't get it without buying a bundle. The cheapest way to get Florida is the best bundle. That is the Florida Deed Flip, Florida Remote, which is our overages program. It also has North Carolina Flip Master. It's a different program that kind of pushes you into North Carolina a little better. And we can knock on doors, so our conversion rate's really high there. And it has a national surplus and a national deed flip. So Best the Best is a great bundle. Trifecta is a great bundle. Best the Best is $847. Trifecta is a great bundle to get because it has national deed flip, national surplus, and I believe the redemption in it as well. And those are great programs. Now, as far as breaking the individual programs down, I'm not going to do that here today because you can go to SurplusFundsRiches.com. You can sign in. Sorry, this chair. Anyway, you can sign in on the right side of that page. Name and email. Yeah, it's going to put you on a newsletter. Yeah, you can unsubscribe at any time, guys. So don't. Anyway, sign in. That'll give you the insider's guide, and it breaks down all our different programs in depth. So that's going to answer a lot of your questions. If you still have questions after that, you can call me direct on my cell at 704-791-9398, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Now, I will take calls today, Saturday the 2nd, because I'm still moving into my new home. I'm in the office now, the new house. I'm still moving into my new home, and I've got a lot to do, and I'm going to be just banging around the house and probably looking for an excuse to stop working. So if you want to call me with pre-purchase questions, preferably after you've read our insider's guide, you're welcome to do that at 704-791-9398. Please don't call me with support questions, post-purchase questions, guys. Jeff handles that. We have a support system built into our program. It's outlined in the ebooks that we have. What you get is an initial ebook, which is a PDF. That also has a link in it to a resources page with extensive video training, where you sign up for to work with us as an independent contractor agreement. It has a way for you to access our master list, so you know everything that's been turned in. So you can check that prior to doing your own research, so you don't duplicate somebody else's efforts. You don't research something that's a waste of time. We update that Monday through Friday once a day. We're not having a saturation issue at all, but it's nice to be that transparent. I'm going to get a little more into finding lists and all that stuff. A lot of nuts and bolts guys here today. So, and again, there will be a replay, and you'll get notice of that probably about an hour or two after this is over. Okay. So the process in buying is pretty simple. Coming on board, you have to buy a program. I charge enough money to defray the cost of starting you. We're printing the files, we're underwriting them and checking them. We're mailing to the claimant or the owner and all their possible relatives and associates. We're calling them. Of course, the Premier 16, you're going to call them too. But you always turn in deals. Premier 16, the 16%er, where you're finding people, or the 8%, the National Surplus Funds Program. You're always turning those deals in immediately. And then with the Premier 16, you then turn it in again after you had a conversation where you turn in more information. The reason we do that is that way everything's on our master list. So somebody with the 8% program isn't going to try to turn in a file that you're currently working, trying to find the people and have a conversation with them, right? That's how we had to structure that. I'm going to go through the process now. So buying, you just go to SurplusFundsRiches.com. You click on products, choose the product you want, and it'll lead you through, guys. Now, there is a point, you click on products, it'll get you to the static page with all these pictures, right? Click on any of that, and it'll make you sign in, name and email. And we do that because one of our competitors hired a company out of India to just pound us, just constantly pound away at us, hit our website so much that we'd go over disk quota. So by putting this in place, we stop that. Obviously, there's an added benefit in that by you signing in, you're getting on our newsletter. That's an added benefit for us, but you can unsubscribe at any time. But anyway, that'll put you on the actual purchase page, and that's where you've got to choose what you want. Main programs at the top, add-ons. If you want them, you don't need them, but if you want them, it'd be nice to have later to have additional programs that you can work, or you can buy package deals that are really stellar deals. We are going to go up on the add-on prices probably pretty soon, maybe today or tomorrow. But anyway, choose what you want, submit that. You also have to agree to our terms. That'll drop you on the purchase page, and that's where you make the purchase. Within a half an hour, I'll be notified that you bought it, and I'll send you the physical PDF, the initial information up front. And again, that has a link from it to the resources page with video training. Because we make our money at the back end, actually putting deals together with you guys, that's where we make our money. Because of that, because of the amount we're charging is the cost of starting you up, because of that, we have to give you everything you need to succeed. So we're going to make darn sure that you have everything you need to succeed. I'm going to take a quick break because I'm going to really go in depth on process here in a second. Plus, my dog is driving me crazy. So it's COVID-19, right? Give me 1 second. All right, guys, sorry. This is Bella. Anyway, okay, so starting out, guys. Starting out, the main thing to do once you get the ebook, read it at least twice. And here's what I'm seeing. This is scaring me a little bit. This is mailbag type stuff I'm getting, where people will go, hey, I clicked and I saw the videos, but it doesn't mean anything without the written information. What do you mean you clicked? Well, I clicked in that first page that you sent me in the ebook. Okay, you need to read the other 50-some pages at least twice, the whole ebook twice. It's not a big deal, guys. Nice, slow read. Take your time. Then click on the videos, because we've got a step-by-step in the ebook. Click on the videos, then everything will start making sense and start applying it. But you've got to read the ebook. And there's two reasons for that. One is by reading that ebook, what's going to happen is you're going to understand kind of the lingo involved with this, right? You're going to get the idea of how to ask questions where we're going to understand the question you're asking. That's a big deal. Secondly, it's going to tell you how to do it. There's no fluff in our programs. Read it at least twice and go ahead and get started. Now, when you get started, the first step is, of course, you're going to get a list. Don't get OCD on that, guys. Some people go, well, I need to work. I live in this county and I'm going to work this county. Why? It's online from home. The difference between me working, I'm in Mecklenburg County, North Carolina. If I was to do it, if I was to work local, okay, and we don't, by the way, we don't compete with you guys. We only work files that are sent in from y'all. But if I was to work that the difference between me working Mecklenburg County, North Carolina, and me working Fairbanks, Alaska, okay, is like 100th of a millisecond because it's online. So don't get OCD. And when you do search by county and state name, looking for these lists, look and see if there's another list that pops up. It might not come up for Mecklenburg. Maybe it'll come up for Durham County. Maybe it'll come up for a county in Ohio or Michigan or wherever the heck you're searching. Maybe it'll come up there. Be sure to click that and look at it. I had recently a lady say, well, I got a list, but it didn't have all the pertinent information. Send me the list. It had the name, the address, and the dollar amount being held in overages. What else do you need? Because at that time, you're going to run that through the way we teach it, run that through the tax office information, right? Do a search by that address or parcel ID number, okay? Do a search by that. You'll see past and present owner on that. You'll see a reference, legal description of the property. That's going to allow you to then go to the Register of Deeds or Land Records Department, search by the name, and know that you've got the right property that person owns because you know the legal description. So it's not hard to do, but it was just silly. I mean, I was like, are you hoping it tells you if there's other debt? No, there's a little bit of work involved in here, guys. You don't buy the program, print it out, put it under your pillow, and make $1 million by the money ferry the next day. So submitting, we tell you how to submit. Don't get OCD though on searching an area. If you can't find a list for a particular county, keep going, keep trudging along. And we've said this in the past, guys. You put in an overage list or surplus funds list or excess proceeds list. The first thing that pops up on the first page is Maricopa County, Arizona. Well, everybody's working that. So you're going to have less of a chance that it's going to get to, we're extremely competitive because we do buyouts. We're giving people money up front. Nobody else is doing that. And we're using attorneys no matter what. But if you're going to work a county that the world sees as the top 5 positions on page 1 of Google, obviously you're going to have competition and a less chance of conversion rate. Kind of simple, right? Submission, we tell you how to submit. And let me explain. At first, you got to turn in 1 file at a time until we've approved 3. Now, this is why we did that. And it may take time. It may take 3-5 business days for us to do that and go through it, and that's to okay you. The reason we do that, guys, is you're going to make mistakes. Jeff's going to tell you what to fix. What drives Jeff crazy more than anything? Well, second most crazy is when you go, when he tells you, hey, fix these items on these files, and you say, oh, forget it, and you either turn in more files or disappear. What are you doing? Fix those items, and now we're going to accept it. We're trying to help you guys. We do the 3 limit because people in the past would work 10, turn in 10 right away, and there'd be mistakes with them. And that's okay. We're okay with you guys having mistakes. There'll be mistakes on them. Jeff would tell them what to fix, and they get discouraged because they had 10 files to fix. Well, turn in 3, 1 at a time. Once we get all 3, accept it, and you'll know they're accepted because they'll show up on our list. If there's an issue, Jeff will get back to you and tell you what the issue is. Or when you submitted it, and I'm going to get into this on what not to do. I'm sorry to make myself a note because I have this down. It's going to come in a minute. Okay. So use the submission guidelines. It tells you exactly what to include in the file. It tells you exactly how to submit it. Use those guidelines and everything will be fine. But read it, guys. Read the frequently asked questions page. Read the support page where there's a lot of information on there. Read the submissions page. Read all this stuff. Take your time and read it. And if there's something in the book, if you ask a question of support, we're there to help. But if you ask a question, it's like right in the book, Jeff's going to go, hey, listen, I really need you to read the ebook. We need y'all to do that side of it, okay? As far as follow-up, a couple things we do. Of course, we tell you as soon as we get one under contract with you, immediately. We'll tell you that, right? When we get in contact and we put a deal together, we'll tell you immediately. Once you've turned in 20, you're also allowed to make requests for updates on your files. You will get it the next month. Do me a favor, guys. We're just like anybody else. We've got a system for doing this. You got to use the system. It's different than support. It's not just support. Requesting an update is a separate system. And if you're going to, you done? And if you're going to use that, system, You got to use it as it's written, guys. Use that system request for updates. We give you an in-depth update on all your file. Once you've turned in 20, that way people don't turn in 3 and then just bug the heck out of us asking for updates all the time on 3 files. That's silly. You got to work it. But once you've hit 20 that have been accepted, and you're staying current, you're continuing to turn stuff in occasionally, we will give you updates, and it'll be by the end of the following month. Do me a favor, guys. What we do is Jeff is going to prioritize folks that are good about it and do it right. Obviously, he's going to tell you if you have an issue, but also look, if you're going to, one of the things we get is people will they'll bend the truth a little bit. I've been asking for an update for 2 months. No, you haven't. Everything is recorded. Okay. Everything is recorded on multiple sites when you do update requests, and you got to do the update request right. But when people start bending the truth, or they ask for an update every 3 days, knowing that it's going to be by the end of the following month, we're going to put you at the back end of the queue. We just are, because we're just like, we're working hard for everybody. We just don't do that. Okay. As far as getting follow-up, again, that's how we do the follow-up. Getting paid. You sign an independent contractor agreement when you sign up with us. However, you can change how we pay out to you. We do double check when we get the check from the court. Do you want us to pay it in this name? Do you want us to pay this in your company name? How do you want us to pay this? First time I send a check, I got to send it overnight. It's going to require a signature. I can send it anywhere. I can send it to your home, your work, whatever. I can send it on a Saturday if that makes it easier for you. But I've got to have proof that I actually had where it's a physical check, and it went to an address that can be tracked. Long story. A lot of things have happened in the past. We just have to make sure we can do that. After that first time, I can wire, so I don't have an issue with that at all. Now, what we do when we get it, I need you guys to understand the process from our perspective, okay? We print the file. Well, first of all, Signa gets it. She's my head administrator. She gets it. She looks at it quickly to make sure it's not silly. Because, for instance, we tell you, this is one of those what not to do things, right? We tell you what we need with the file. Well, if it's a 100-page file you just sent us, we know that these guys will like it more if I send them more information. No, just send us what we need. She's not going to print a 100-page file. She's going to print a normal size file. And it's got to be under the submission standards. 1 file per email. This is with the National Surplus Funds Program. The Premier 16, you actually do it online. You enter the information online. But it's 1 file, 1 email per file, and 1 attachment per email. She catches those issues, kicks them back if there's an issue. If it looks good, she's going to print it, and she's also going to forward it on to Jeff. Jeff is going to underwrite it. That means he's going to double check your work, make sure you actually research debt and ownership, and you filled out the conclusion page, and you gave us all the information we needed on debt. So we definitely have a system down. At that point, immediately, usually in the same day, guys, it is mailed on, and any and all calls are made immediately. Not only the owner or the claimant, but also their potential family members and associates. So we go hardcore after these people. And in the first week, we hit them 3 times. After that, we back it off every couple of weeks. But that is to get their attention and to get through the thing that, a lot of you guys realize is people won't respond until they've gotten hit a couple of times, right? With mailings and or calls. So we want to get that out of there and get in front of them right away. That makes a huge difference. So we're constantly working it. If you guys are going to sign up with, if you're on Premier 16 and you need a good skip tracing program, one of the ones I've really been pushing lately, because I think it's a great one. I don't get any kickback for this, guys, is IDI Data. IDI Data. Google it. Once you call it, ask for Nick and tell him Sean sent you, because what we're trying to do is see, he says he's going to prioritize you guys because we do a hell of a lot of business with him. So he's going to prioritize you as a result because you're with me, or at least you've signed up and mentioned me. Lists. One of the things I want to talk about with list is backward engineering. I did a video on that. If you go to YouTube, that's about to disappear offline. It's going to go just to our pages for our members. But I did a backwards engineering video on Mr. Deed Flip channel on YouTube, MRDEED Flip, where it tells you how to, if you just have parcel ID number, limited information on a list, how to actually work that list. Now, what not to do. Okay, and after this, I'm going to open this up to you guys. All right. Do not get OCD on the county or the state that you're going after. Again, don't feel like you have to work your local county. Why? It's online from home. That's stupid. It's stupid. When people go, I can't get a list from my county. Go to one of the other 3,200 counties, guys. It's online from home. Okay. I said this earlier in this webinar. The difference between me working Mecklenburg County, where I am, North Carolina, and Fairbanks, Alaska, is like a thousandth of a millisecond or a hundredth of, something ridiculous. It's online. It's the internet. It's the interwebs. Okay. So just use whatever list you can. And when you search for, we tell you how to do that, county and state, searching for that list, make sure to look down further on the page. You might find another list on there from another county just because it's showing up. And, just take your time. It's not that hard to find them. Obviously, the list that worked the best is if you have to call the county or email them, simply because nobody else is doing that, because they think black helicopters are flying over the courthouse and they're going to get arrested, right? They're going to get arrested or they're going to be running from the law. Those of you guys that saw conspiracy theory, running from the law, and they're going to bycatch you in the rye, and the people are going to swoop in on them. Come on, the county is here to give you information. That's their job, to record and disperse information. That's the job. So it's easy to get online lists. You're certainly welcome to work those, but you can also call or email and get lists as well that other people aren't working to. We don't have a saturation issue. Do not use non-county sites for your research. Sometimes you'll plug in, we teach you how to search and find the county website to research the debt and ownership. And people will use like deeds.com or something. Don't use that. Go to the county site. They're open. They're free 99.99% of the time. Do not use a title company. That's stupid. Title companies are all about trying to do certified title as it stands now. We need you to check debt and ownership at the time of the sale. Okay. They're not normally set up to do that. Also, they're going to charge you too much money. You're going to go broke paying for title. Don't do it. We teach you how to do title. That's your job. If you're a researcher, that's the job you need to do. Guys, if you're going to do this on your own, please don't do this without an attorney. We think that's crazy as heck. We think the counties don't pay attention to you, and you're going to have a longer time to get paid, and you're going to make a mistake. Use an attorney. We do that for you if you sign up with one of our programs, guys. We get the deal. We put the deal together. We hire the mobile notary, hire the attorney, get it all done, and pay you on the back end as a researcher. And do not do this without a buyout. And what people have been doing is, see what I do. If somebody's owed 30 grand, I'll give them 3 grand within 5 business days after they sign my contracts, and I get them back. And then I'll give them the rest, maybe another $12,000 to $15,000 when we successfully get it out. Meanwhile, I also pay you guys. I also pay the attorney. So, I'm very honest with folks. I go, look, I'm going to make about what you make. People don't have a problem with that. Plus, by signing up with an attorney, the attorney can break out the money in their trust account. When the money comes in, it comes out in the claimant's name. The attorney has a power of attorney for that claimant. They take their money out and send the rest to me, and then I make final payments, or they can also send the final payment out to that person and send me the difference. Either way, but use an attorney, and always use a buyout. If you don't use a buyout, you're going to fall under the finder laws, and you're going to get capped on what you can make. And you're going to get into trouble. So that's really, really big. Don't turn in extra information to us. Some people have turned in, like I said, 100-page files and that type of thing. The other thing not to do is don't get OCD on a particular file. You're going to run across big files. They're rare, but you're going to cross $100,000, $200,000 files. Okay. You're going to run across those, and you're going to chase that longer than you should. Okay. I got to put it together. Or you're going to run across that, and let's say it's 200,000, and there's 2 old mortgages against the property in addition to the foreclosing entity, or there's a mortgage and an equity line. One of them's for 150 and one of them's for 60. So the money, you can't get the money, right? That's $210,000. There's only 200,000 in debt in addition to the foreclosing entity. There's 210,000 in debt. There's no money left for the owner. So obviously it's a dead hole, right? It's a rabbit hole. people will go, well, yeah, but these mortgages were written. I think maybe they're gone. They just haven't been recorded. Guys, there are state statutes and heavy fines if people do not record satisfaction or termination of debt. Very heavy fines. So if it hasn't been recorded as satisfied or terminated, it's still in place and you can't get around it. We had a young lady in this last webinar kept bringing that up. Let me give you an analogy. Okay. There's two monks, old monk and a young monk. And they're walking, and the young monk is just in awe of the old monk. And he's there to learn. He's his, whatever you want to call it, sensei, whatever the heck they call it. Anyway, that's his master. Okay. And they're walking together through the woods. And they come to a stream, and there's an old lady that can't cross the stream. And in their belief system, you can't touch a woman. And that older monk picks the woman up, walks them across the stream, sets her down at the bank. And the young monk is like, what just happened? He just broke one of the rules. And they keep walking. Okay? Keep walking. Finally, it's driving the young monk nuts. And the young monk says, look, I can't help myself. I'm sorry, master, but we're not supposed to talk. We're not supposed to touch women. What was that about? What are you doing? What was that about? This is an hour later, you know. The old monk looks at the young monk and says, are you still carrying that woman? Because I left her at the stream bank. The point is, get over it, move on, don't get OCD about a file when it's a rabbit hole. During the time, you could have gone for, let's say it's 90 grand. You could have gone after three $30,000 deals and put a couple together. What are you doing? What are you doing? Don't get OCD about a particular file, okay? Now, I also mentioned this earlier. We'll be going up as far as add-on pricing. The link should have been sent to you guys in an initial. You can just go to SurplusFundsRiches.com to buy the program. I'm going to go ahead and enable chat. So your chat box should open in just a second here. When I do that, guys, I need pertinent, specific questions, please, on items I've covered, or if you've got other items, that's fine. But if you ask me, hey, what's this particular program about? I'm going to tell you to go to SurplusFundsRiches.com. In the right side of the page, put your name, you'll get the insider's guide, and it'll go in depth on all of our different programs. That way you can ask me a specific question after reading that. I will be available until 4 or 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time today at my phone number, which is 704-791-9398. Obviously, don't call me now. Wait till the webinar is over. And if you don't reach me, guys, leave a message. A lot of people just call and just hang up. Leave a message. That's unprofessional as hell. Leave a message and I'll call you back. All right, here we go. I'm opening this up for questions. And they're all going to be private, guys. If I put them on where everyone can see everyone else's questions, we've had to get kind of weird before. Here we go. What is OCD, Alan? Obsessive compulsive disorder. Don't get fixated on something. Don't get fixated on a file that's obviously a dead end. If courts, counties are closed, are records up to date? Kevin, that's a great question. You can call the county, first of all. But what we did is we relaxed the rule as long as you've got the most recent, which is usually maybe 2 months old list, and you know it's recent. And by the way, registered deeds department, a lot of the departments that handle creating those lists are still open, and you can call for that. You may not be able to call in a particular case like you were in the past or check on it, but you can definitely find out if it's a recent list. Obviously, we've relaxed that rule as long as it's a recent list. As long as the list is recent enough, or and you can show us it's a recent list, we'll still work it. So that's a big benefit to y'all. Sean, do you have updates and guys, if there's any updates to a program, you actually click on the resources page to the program. This is from Chris. Click on the resources page to the program, and any update will be there. Update information on the resources page. That's why we structured that like we did. Yes, it's still viable, Chris. That was the bankruptcy gold mine. Vernetta, hi, Sean. Just want to confirm the 16 Premier program for mortgage surplus. It's mortgage and tax, Vernetta. We have to search to verify there are funds due. Well, right, you get a list. I just want to make sure I am dotting my I's and crossing my T's. I need a little clarity. How do you know there's an overage for a mortgage surplus? Same thing, Vernetta. You ask for the list. We teach you how to do that in the ebook. Read your ebook at least twice, guys. Phone number again, please, Joanne, no problem, 704-791-9398. Guys, also, if you go to my YouTube channel, it's in most of the videos I put on there. And if you go to our page, I believe it's on the front page, SurplusFundsRiches.com. Please give your number. Okay, how do I pay for taxes on income made? That's up to you. I send you that, and I'm going to 1099 you at the end of the year. I'm completely new at what program do you recommend for a newbie? Yvette, I'm going to get the Pro Pack. That is National Surplus Funds and the Premier 16 in it. Save you a lot of money because they're usually $4.97 a piece. The Pro Pack's $5.97. It'll save $400. So if in the future you want to go from being an 8% researcher to a 16%er by calling people too, you don't have to do that with our National Surplus. If you want to do that, you can. Both programs teach you how to do it on your own completely too. And I've had people start completely on their own using our programs. Get the Pro Pack. Jen, I'm new to this and curious with states having gone depth into their emergency unemployment funds, suffering huge budget cuts eventually across all the county agencies, which have included, Lord, this is a run-on sentence, staff, and how do you see this affecting tax sales and tax sale process? Do you foresee states becoming non-tax overage states? Jen, I see them. Counties need money. They're going to start foreclosing even more on property that people that haven't paid their taxes. They're going to stop letting that go. They need the money, first of all. Secondly, as far as keeping it, no, I don't see that happening. Regarding the Premier 16 partnership, are there any additional expenses that we need to budget for? Yeah, Tim, you're responsible for calling and having a warm conversation with them with that program. That's why we pay double the income. So you're going to need a way to find them. I recommend IDI Data. That's about 60 cents a search for me. That's volume. I think it's going to run about $1 for you. Here, since she wants to be a part of it, I'll just let her be a part of it. Okay. Are you doing probate cases? We tend to avoid that, Rojo, unless you have a copy of the will or know who the executor was, and you can show us paperwork to that effect. Hello, Sean. Bought the Ultimate Bundle. Still struggling with the details. I thought I turned in one application through the 16 program. Not sure where I am at it or what to do next. Paul calls. Get in touch with support. Ask a question there if you would. That's a post-purchase support question that I can't answer. And guys, I'm not blowing you off. The reason that I have you go to support is outlined. Jeff handles the front line. He knows it better than I do. Thanks, Bella. Knows it better than I do. And he will, I'll muck it up if I jump in and try to answer support questions for you. Are overages paid listed in the circuit court file? It depends on the state, Rosalinda. Hi, Sean. Can I just purchase only Florida? No, David. The cheapest way to get Florida is, and by the way, if you're in Florida, again, I said this earlier, don't get OCD. You can work the National Surplus and the Premier 16 in other states. You can also get the best of the best bundle, and that includes Florida in it. We made it part of a bundle where you have to spend a lot more money. It's $847 for that bundle. You have to spend a lot more money. And the reason for that is simple. We want to put a barrier so we don't have too much competition in one particular state. Is there an average amount you have come across for payout? The checks from Chris on Facebook are very nice. About 35 grand is the average overage. So it runs anywhere from let's say $2,400 to $4,800, depending on if you have the Premier 16 or the 8%. Did I miss in the book whether you accept cases which are a trust for an individual? Go to the page, the resources page, that's part of the book. All that's on there. Read all that. We give any additional information is on there. Sean, I just started on the National Surplus. Is there a list of property being worked so we won't duplicate a case? Sean, click on your resources page. This is the kind of stuff drives us nuts, guys. Read it. Click on the resources link. You'll see a link there to our list. Click on the link, put in your password, get on that page. You'll see a link to our list, and you can search that by your list, names and cases, or whatever, and make sure that we don't already have it. We do not have a saturation issue. I'm Premier 16, but since the pandemic, I've had to do things to survive. That's fine. I heard you call this 816 possible. Sometimes I wish I could do 8 during this period. No problem, Alan. Just buy the 8% program. Buy it. It's $497. I'm completely new. At what program do you recommend? You already asked me that, Yvette. What is the difference between your program and Bob Diamond's, who is a tax attorney, Terry? We partner with people. That's included. It's $497 instead of $1,500. And we learn this a different way, so we have different methods. We don't try to use assignments or powers of attorney, which we believe are outdated. We buy people out, and we always use an attorney regardless of whether or not the county says it's required. What are the best method systems to keep track of which counties provide the info needed for a file? Just Get an Excel, Dre. Put it in Excel. I keep running into county states that do not provide images, downloads of the deed. No, you're not. Get up with support. I'm sorry, but registered deeds department and land records departments, that's their job, and they're going to give you copies of the deed. I don't know what you're talking about. That's bullshit. Sorry guys. Just that I'm going to call BS on that. How have others narrowed down the counties to work? You just keep plugging away, Dre, and keep an Excel sheet of what you're working. But as far as if you're saying that it's the information isn't on with the land records or registered deeds department, that's just not true. It's just not true. Hi, Sean, how many attempts does your company make to contact a person for an overage? We run at it, David, for 2 years straight. Sorry to keep hammering you on this, Sean, but any info, Chris said this is the first time you're asking me this, on the almost illegal program. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and launch it by June. It's going to be kind of a biography, so a lot of, not a biography, but anyway, an overview of some of the crazy stuff we've gone into and also the crazy programs that are semi-illegal or methods, I should say. There's going to be a disclaimer on this, says don't do this. It's stuff I've run across because I've been around crazy investors forever. But yeah, I'll send that out June, probably in June. If I go to your list and the county I am planning to work is not listed, does that mean no one is working the county? I suppose, Rosalinda, but don't do that. Some of the look, that list has a couple of years worth of stuff on it. Just because there's quite a few in from a county, somebody might still not have worked it recently. So don't try to do it by that. Can't connect again, Lorna, that's your issue. Hi, Sean, what are the best states to work with? I'm not going to go into that. I've said that in other videos. Just don't work, if you're going to be a researcher for us, Oregon, Washington State, and Colorado, and Florida is a separate program. Sorry if you covered this, I joined late. Does the list have to be an official court document, or can it be a less official, such as an Excel sheet or a Word doc posted by a county or sheriff? As long as it's from the county or sheriff and you can show that, Austin, check with support for clarification. But that is a list. How do you predict the foreclosure market will slow down due to this coronavirus? Are you kidding me? It's gonna increase dramatically. Look, people say, "Oh, we have a stay on foreclosures." You know what they did? They said, "Oh, you know what? You're having a hard time. I'm sorry. That's cool. You don't have to pay right now." They're adding it down the road. Also, notice the default states. These are the states where we know that defaults are coming. Ohio, Florida, and North Carolina. We see it on Realty Track. They're still starting the foreclosure process, guys. And the taxes, like we talked earlier, the counties are freaking out. They're going into their budgets. They're going in debt. There's only so much federal relief and state relief the counties are going to get. So they're going to foreclose on anybody that's late. It's going to be accelerated. Okay. Let's see what else. In Virginia, there is no list. No, I've seen people work Virginia. Property bought 2008 for $257, but sold for $218. Would that mean no overage? Property has to sell for more than a debt against the property. So yeah, that would mean there's no overage. I'm not trying to be a smart aleck. Just come on. Question on zombie business program. Can you give any more information about what we are to say to the former owner of the business entity? It tells you what to say in there, man. It says that if it's a set company, like a name like Acme Pest Control, you just say, "Look, I want to buy her." I mean, it wasn't necessary to go in depth on script. Hey, I want to buy that name. I want that name. Will you sell it to me? If it's Johnson and Son, well, then you approach it more like, "Hey, there's some money there. It was left by the court. I can go after it. I'll give you X amount of dollars for your company name, so that I can go after it." I'm going to leave it at that. Thanks, Sean. Thank you, Paul, for posting that. IDIdata.com. Talk to Nick, guys, if you want to use that. Tell him Sean Bougie sent you, and he'll know it's me. And he'll give you priority treatment. What website are you referring to? SurplusFundsRiches.com. Oh, is that the website? Yes. Do you feel the Northeast will be hit the hardest due to its service area? George. I don't understand that question. In the Premier 16, do you give us a guide on what to say on the phone with a customer? Absolutely, Victor. Guys, I said this before. We make our real money on putting deals together. We charge enough for the book to defray the cost of starting you. So are we going to give you what we need to succeed, because that's going to help us succeed? Yeah, we're going to give you everything you need. Will this have a replay? Absolutely. Do you know anything about subject to? If so, do you plan on releasing a course? Christopher, our National Surplus Funds program is flipping pre-tax sale property. Our National Deed Flip is pre-tax sale property, and the Game Changer is our pre-mortgage foreclosure. We don't do the subject to thing and the assignments and all that. I mean, I could release a course, but bottom line is sellers are getting wise to that. We give them money up front. Okay, we give 15% of net to you guys when we buy and sell a property as is, where is, which is a lot of money. Is it possible to do an overage file and a redemption file together? Yes. You turn it in for one and we'll work it both ways for you, Creed. Great question. How long does it take for a sheriff's deed to be recorded after foreclosure? I'm finding some of the recent foreclosures haven't been updated with the foreclosure deeds. Is there any point in calling the recorder sheriff's department to try to get a hold of a copy? No, Paul. Some of them will record something right away, a deed right away, or something similar to that. Others will wait until, if there is a redemption period, they'll wait on that. You can ask support as to how to handle that, but basically we're going to need that deed. Recorder and assessor chain of title only list tax deed. How do I find the deed transferring to claimant when both places are missing? Recorder and assessor chain of title only list tax deed. How do I find the deed transferring to claimant when both places to look is missing the information? You're not doing it right. Watch both of my videos on title work. You're not doing it right. That'll be in the register. The deed is in the Register of Deeds or Land Records Department online. Okay. How do you buy someone out legally without a lawyer? First of all, Eric, we always use a lawyer. We tell you to do that. But we have a contract built in that we do that. It's a structured buyout. It's not illegal to do. You don't need an attorney to have a contract. Hello, Sean and everyone. The program terminology in the bailout bundle, the Florida program is called the Florida Remote Deed Flip. Yes, it's the deed flip. That's not the remote. Somebody else asked us this. That is not the overage program. In the bailout bundle, it's all about flipping property. It has nothing to do with overages. Okay. I'm in Texas. I'm looking to join the team. Which programs do you recommend? First of all, Jonathan, thank you for asking the question. However, it doesn't matter where you are. You're getting information. You're doing this online, so don't get caught up in just working your area. Everything's about the same turnaround, about 3 months. So I'm on the fence, deed flip or surplus funds. I'll tell you what I would do. This is Victor. Get trifecta. It's got both the national deed flip and the national surplus funds, and it also has redemption. Gives you multiple shots at the same property. And Victor, I just think it's good to have more than one program. You're doing the same type of research. I would get that one. It's $6 and some change and saves you a lot of money. It's $1,500 for the programs. Are you saying the skip trace company that you recommend again? IDI Data. Can I start out researching a property and turn it in as a national surplus? Then if I can make contact with the claimant, can I switch it over to a Premier 16? You'd have to check at that point, David, to make sure we haven't reached and spoken to the people, or they haven't gotten back in touch with us. Because if we put that much money into it, we're not going to do it. But if we haven't gotten in touch with them and you have, yeah, we won't let you go the other way. You can't turn it as a 16 file and they go, oh, hey, guys, I can't find it. You work it. Because we would just get the crap turned in. Last bundle I purchased was fully booked for March. LOL, am I still relevant? Preston, 2013. Preston, probably not. I think you probably got the old estates where they required you to go into the courthouse, the surplus funds program. And now you need to get a new program. How long is the special going to last, Tori? Right now, it's the add-ons that I think are going to disappear, and that could be in a couple days. The add-on pricing is pretty cheap right now. Hey, Sean, I don't see the same list you were talking about for my page resource. That's not the, okay. You guys about the program. There's a link on the first page to our resources page with a password. There's 2 different passwords in there. One of them is to get on the resources page. The other one is once you get on the resources page, there's a link to our master list. Click on that and use the other password to access that. I just started. Can I turn in 3 files in at once? No, one at a time, and wait till you guys approve them and or correction before continuing to submit more. One at a time. You'll see it's approved by appearing on our list. Once you've turned in 3, you can turn in an unlimited amount. How long does it take to get paid? Generally about 3 months from when you turn it in. Because I also actually give you guys $500 when I put it under contract now. So that can be as little as a month for that portion of your payout. What skip trace do you recommend? IDI data is what I've said before. Recorder and assessor chain of title list, only list tax deed. Darnell, Jesus. How do I find the deed transfer to claimant when both, you just asked that question. Can I do all of your courses from overseas? Yeah, as a researcher, not by yourself, as far if they're a partnership course. I have a case where the overbid is 40 grand. Can I give you this case and get a cut without actually signing up with you guys? And how? No, Eric, I don't do that. It costs me money to start you up. I don't trust that you've done the work. You don't have our training. I'm not going to do that. And it's not fair to the people that bought in and are working with us. And so, no, I get that all the time. And I go, did you research that? And they go, yeah. And they didn't. And did you research ownership? Yeah. No, they didn't. I need you to get the program to be a part of it, guys. That's a cost of admission. Not sure I understand working redemption and overage together. Linda. I mean, guys, in redemption states, sometimes we can work that and redemption meaning the owner can redeem or pay off the taxes after the sale was actually finalized and get the property back. So we can work it that way, or we can work it as an overage because an overage was created in that instance as well. Zombie program. Thank Linda. I hope that answers that. If you have further questions, ask me on the phone. Zombie program. Does the previous owner of the business need to approve the reactivation of the business? No, they're selling you their business. You reactivate it. Can it be done directly with the state? No, you got to buy you need to buy the name from the owner. Hi, Sean. I already have one bundle. I'm thinking of buying another one. Are you still paying $500 when the seller signs the initial paperwork? When I get that contract in my hand, Nancy, absolutely. Do you try to negotiate with the former owners or tax sellers in California prior to 1 year waiting period? Prior to the 1 year waiting period. I negotiate prior to the 1 year period is up because after the 1 year period, they're not going to look at claims, David. Also, I won't take it till we're about 2 months out, 3 months out, something like that. It's all covered in our program because I'm not going to give them an initial buyout and wait a year to get my money back. Hi, Sean. I got on late. Will you make access to the webinar available afterwards? Absolutely. There will be a replay. Looks like I'm done. I caught up without Jeff being here. That's that's amazing. All right, guys. Any other questions? Fire them at me. This is your last chance. You can also, like I said, call me. Usually it's Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at 704-791-9398. Another thing, and today I'll take calls up until 4 or 5. If you miss me, leave a message. Okay, that's just unprofessional as hell. If you just call and not leave a message, it must be BS, whatever. Just call. Congratulations. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Sean. Is a Goldmine version 2.0 still relevant? Absolutely not, Chris. I think that was 2013 we had that. Is there a limit on the income that can be earned? Nope. How much is the Premier 16 program? Is there anything else you recommend? Jonathan, if you're just starting, I'd recommend you get the Pro Pack. That is the Premier 16 program and the National Surplus Funds program. It's $597. So you're getting two $497 programs for $597. Other than that, I think you're good. If you have a buyout agreement without a lawyer, is it possible to cash the check? No, you need, Eric, our program tells you to hire an attorney and get it out in the claimant's name. You're not going to be able to cash third-party checks. And this is what I get calls on 3 times a week. And I'm not mad. I know I'm coming across that way. I'm sorry. But I get calls 3 times a week. Hey, Sean, I kind of followed your program, but I didn't use an attorney. And I said it was a power of attorney to me. And I turned it in. And the county sent the check made out to the claimant to me. How do I cash it? You're screwed. You got to meet him at their bank and swap checks. How are you going to use an attorney? Okay. Wow, you guys got crazy on me. Once we're paid out on an overage, is that name removed from your overage file list? No. Everything that's on that list is 2 years or less has been turned in. That's everything. That way, you're not going to turn in a file that we've already worked and paid out. Everything that's been turned into us and accepted is on that list. Thank you, Sean. You're welcome, Howard. What do you see happening in the real estate market in the next 2 years? How is that going to affect the business? Christopher, we're recession-proof. I do think we're going to see more and more where the deed flip is going to become, and the game changer is going to, right now it's running about even with overages, and overages are never going away, and we're always going to be competitive. But I do think that you're going to see kind of an increase in the money made on deed flip and Game Changer, which is buying property pre-foreclosure. I see that because I think you're going to see a slight, first of all, you're going to see this huge blip, right? As the COVID-19 restrictions are taken out. We've got all this, I've said this before, built up tension in a slingshot, right? The investors are going nuts, going, I need to make money and I can't because I can't find anything at auction, right? I can't find it. And we're not able to see, we're not even to even see property that's being listed by realtors in a lot of these states. So they're going nuts. They're like scrambling to find a way to invest their money. And buyers are going, dang it. You know, I've got to find something. I don't want to sign up for a year in an apartment. They're freaking out. They want to find something. And of course, we're going to have a good inventory for them to go. Now, I think here's what I think is going to happen. I think you're going to be seeing sellers freaking out, wondering what's going to happen. Okay. So as soon as restrictions are lifted, you're going to see properties actually at a little bit of a reduced rate. But as soon as people see how fast this inventory is selling off, it's going to go crazy fast. As soon as, and especially with the rates where they are now, guys. I bought this house, good Lord. I got 3.37. Are you out of your mind? That's free money. Okay. 3.37%, 30-year fixed. It's ridiculous. Anyway, you're going to see this incredible, you're going to see a little boop where sellers, the ones that really need to sell bad, are going to take a little bit of a hit, and then it's going to jack back up, and we're going to see a higher acceleration, basically going to recoup what we lost the last couple of months. And then we're going to be smooth sailing. We're not going to be like this for an extended period of time. It's going to be more like a slow, we're going to increase at a decreasing rate, if that makes sense. All right. You need to be specific when submitting files to paperwork that we want to run both files. No. You turn in that program, create, and we'll figure it out and work the best way on that. I got started late as well. We'll be running this webinar. Yep. It'll be on YouTube. It should be on YouTube, guys, as a streaming video. In about an hour, you'll get a link to that. Could you further explain what the hybrid program is, Carolyn? SurplusFundsRiches.com. Right side, put your name and email in, and you'll get the insider's guide. It goes really in depth. It would take me a half hour to go through if I went through each additional program. On Realty Track, Russell. Now, guys, you only need Realty Track for Game Changer. When a foreclosure is listed as bank owned, is an overage even possible? No. If it's bank owned, then the bank already took it back from the person, probably took it back. The state allows for the bank to actually take it, or for the bank has bid on it themselves. They started out a certain bid on themselves and said, okay, we sold it to ourselves, which is kind of anyway, some places they're doing that wrong. If we can't get in contact with the claimant, can we downgrade 16 to 8? Why? No. And let me tell you why. All we would get is the stuff that you tried to reach and was crap. Keep working it, guys. If you find you can't find somebody, do like we do. Wait a couple of months, run another search. If it's a really fresh list, you're going to find that people haven't landed on their feet yet. They're in mom and dad's basement in Ohio, and they are not showing up on a skip trace. They will show up. In lieu of COVID-19, would you consider lowering the surplus amount threshold to 15 grand? Good question, but no way in hell. And let me tell you why. We put it at 15 grand for a reason. We're not asking you guys to check judgments, and you can't check individual judgments in almost every city. You just can't. We can. So we're checking that for you. By putting it at 15, that allows for, if there was a judgment, credit card judgment or whatever for 5 grand, we're still going to go after it, even if the total we're going after is 10 grand. That's why we set it at 15. It's got to be 15,000 or more in overage. No way am I going under that. There's no way. You're welcome, however, to work that on your own. And guys, let me say something, and man, this is going to sound rough. I really respect my team. They've all worked with me for a long time, and whoever is in the position that they're in, Cigna in handles the overall, the office administration and file submission. Jeff handles underwriting. I have my own things. We have caller, we have mail, all that. We've had people giving Cigna a rough time, arguing with her when she's like, look, I can't accept it because of this. And people try to make us change things to fit their model of what we should be taking. That's going to screw everybody else up that we're trying to work with. They'll argue or they'll give them a hard time or think they can treat them like hell. Guys, we have the out. Okay. If you're going to show your behind and just be a jerk to my staff, we're going to stop working with you. We have that right. We're business guys. We do this for a living. we're business. Terry, you're welcome. Lay for North Carolina, what is the best county department confirmed transferred surplus? Like, shoot me an email. Go to SurplusFundsRiches.com and shoot me an email, and I'll check that you bought. And if you bought, I'll tell you the secret sauce list to ask for in NC. My question was asking answers on this webinar. Thanks for holding these. Got it, Edgar, no problem. Did you just say that older BK gold mine is not valid? No. What I said was the gold mine premier, Pat, I'm sorry if I did that, if I messed up. The gold mine premier is our old terminology for the National Surplus Funds Program that required you went into the courthouse. The new one does not. I think we sold at 14 or 15, 2014 or 15. So if you have the old, I think it's, if you open it up and it says surplus funds and estates, if you have that, it's old and it's outdated. Please repeat your number. Okay, guys, that's going to be on the SurplusFundsRiches.com site. It's on all my videos on YouTube, but here we go. 704-791-9398. For today, you can call me up till 5 o'clock, 4 or 5. Leave a message. You miss me. I'm not calling you back if you're going to be unprofessional and just go, I'm not doing that. Normally, this is just today. Normally, it's just Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Do you offer the houses you hold for sale to your members, partners, if you wish to purchase? Alexandra. You know what? We're going to start doing that. Sure. Thanks and have a great weekend. You got it. Hybrid surplus. What tends to be the pace of finding deals, finding funds? Needle in a haystack. Bellestein, the hybrid program is best used as a way to kind of clean up crumbs for people who can't put a deal with surplus. And you don't want to get hybrid unless you have the surplus program already, because it's just not going to make so much sense. I'm really interested. I'm on a tight budget because of the COVID situation. Victor, that's everybody. What pack would you advise me to buy? Victor, if you just want to start, get the National Surplus Funds for $497. 8% program, good program. If you're really tight, we always tell people too, look, if you're too tight, don't buy one of our programs. If you're going, oh, well, you know, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to pay my bills if I buy the program. Don't buy it. Wait, because otherwise you're going to be working out of desperation. You're going to be pushing it along. You're not going to be taking your time working the files right. You're going to waste both of our time. After I have completed all the work to submit a file for National Surplus is a program that takes benefit of all this work to make additional money. Huh? I don't understand the question, David. I bought Premier 16. Can I turn a file in for 8? No. You can buy the 8% program. Guys, if we allow people to go from 16 to 8, just wait, rerun your searches. Use a skip tracing service if you're on Premier 16. Good Lord, don't be stupid. But run it again in 3 months because the people may have landed somewhere else. Am I doing this wrong? I called Austin County Clerk in Texas to request the deed. They told me they do not look up information for anyone to request the deed and mortgage records. Have you bought our ebook? Why would you call the county to request mortgage and deed? We tell you how to do it online. It's all online. What do you read the book at least twice, then watch the videos and watch the title work? Okay. It's right on there. I like working with Cigna. She's sweet. Thank you, Boopreet. Thanks, Sean. You rock. Sean, the overage lord. Thank you. Okay. Tell my girlfriend that, would you? Thanks for holding these. Super helpful. Okay. Sorry, everybody asked this on the YouTube broadcast, but don't think you got to it. Premier 16 fund. Do I still get membership to the Rightful Owner Project? I got to it. I answer all my questions on YouTube. No, that was a January 1st deal. Thank you, Sean, for this meeting. You got it, David. Crap. Hold on. Okay. Sorry. I've got it. Okay. What additional research expenses for tools can someone expect to pay after purchasing your program? Jen, not a whole lot. Go to SurplusFundsRiches.com. On the right side, put your name and email in, download that insider's guide. It goes into all that information for you. Okay. But not a whole lot. Guys, I think long day. She's driving me nuts. So Bella says goodbye. I say goodbye. Y'all have a good weekend. Take care.